First of all, I want to get something straight. This is a journal, not a diary. I know what it says on the cover, but when Mom went out to buy this thing, I specifically said to make sure it didn't say diary on it. So don't expect me to be all Dear Diary this and Dear Diary that. All I need is for some jerk to catch me carrying this thing around and get the wrong idea. The other thing I want to clear up right away is how this was not my idea, it was Mom's. The deal is that if I write in this book a little bit each day, I get out of one chore on Saturdays, so of course I pick the one I hate the most. But if Roderick ever finds out he's scrubbing toilets because of this book, I'm dead. Oh yeah, Roderick's my brother. I try to avoid him anyway, but now that I struck this deal with Mom, I better be extra careful. Anyway, I think Mom has this idea I'm going to write down my feelings and all that, but she's not actually allowed to read it, so I figure I'll just write whatever I want. The real reason I agreed to do this at all is because I figure later on, when I'm rich and famous, I'll have better things to do than answer people's stupid questions all day long.
Gregory! Tell us about your childhood.
Were you always so smart and handsome?
Here's my journal. Now shoot. Like I said, one day I will definitely be famous, but for now, I'm stuck in 7th grade with a bunch of morons. Today is the first day of school, and right now we're just waiting around for the teacher to hurry up and finish the seating chart. So I figured I might as well write in this book and just get it over with for the day. Let me start out with some good advice. On the first day of school, you have to be really careful where you sit. You walk into the classroom and just plunk your stuff down on any old desk, and the next thing you know, the teacher is saying,
I hope you all like where you're sitting because these are your permanent seats.
Ah! So in this class, I got stuck with Chris Hosey in front of me and Lionel James in back of me. Jason Brill came in late and almost sat next to me, but luckily I did some quick thinking on that one.
Is this seat taken?
Yes! I'm thinking for next period I should just sit in the middle of a bunch of cute girls when I step in the room. Then again, if I do that, it just proves I didn't learn a thing from last year.
Greg, will you please pass this note to Shelley?
Why, certainly! Plus, the other thing I had to consider is that girls don't let you copy off of them, which could be a real problem in a class like pre-algebra. The only good thing I can think of about the first day of school is that some of the teachers are new, and so you can slide a little.
Greg Heffley, would you please come to the board and do this problem?
No speech English. Let me just start out and say for the record that I think middle school is the dumbest idea ever invented. You got kids like me who haven't hit their growth spurt yet mixed in with the ones who need to shave twice a day.
Out of my way, runts!
Then they wonder why bullying in middle school is such a big problem. If it was up to me, grade levels would be based on height, not age. But then again, I guess that would mean kids like Chirag Gupta would still be in the first grade. Anyway, the teacher is almost done with the seating chart, and I think I wrote enough in this book to keep Mom off my back for today.
Greg, I need you to lend Roderick money so he can buy lunch today.
Fine. So that was the lowlight of my morning, especially since I'm still mad at Roderick for the trick that he pulled on me at the beginning of the summer, so I'm really not looking to do him any favors. It was a couple days into summer vacation when he came into my room and made me think that I slept through the entire summer.
Greg.
Roderick, what are you doing?
Bro, you slept through the summer, but luckily you just woke up in time for the first day of school.
I know what you're thinking, I'm pretty dumb to fall for that one, but I was too groggy to know any better, plus Roderick had set my clock ahead and pulled the blinds shut. So I did what I always did on a normal morning and got dressed, then went downstairs to fix myself breakfast. I must have made a big racket, cause next thing I knew, Dad came downstairs wondering what I was doing.
Greg, what are you doing? It is 3 a.m.
Getting ready for school? At that point, I realized what I had to do. Roderick! He set me up! He changed my clock! I was pretty excited to finally see Roderick get what was coming to him. I swear he was just...
Go to bed.
Roderick unfortunately covered his tracks pretty good, and to this day, I'm sure Dad still thinks I have a screw loose. Today we had phys ed, so the first thing I did was sneak off to the basketball court and see if the cheese was still there, and sure enough, it was. To put into perspective, that piece of cheese had been there since last spring. My guess is that it dropped out of someone's sandwich. After a couple days, it got all moldy and nasty. Nobody would play basketball on the court where the cheese was, even though that was the only court with a hoop and a net. Then one day, this kid named Darren Walsh touched the cheese with his finger, and that's what started this known as the cheese touch. If you get the cheese touch, you're stuck with it until you pass it on to someone else. This one kid named Abe Hall got the cheese touch in April, and nobody would come near him for the rest of the year. This summer, Abe moved away and took the cheese touch with him. I just hope no one starts it up again, because I don't need that kind of stress in my life anymore. Well, the first week of school is finally over, so I can sleep late again. Most kids set their alarms and get up early on Saturday morning to watch cartoons or whatever, but not me. The way I know it's time for me to crawl out of bed is when I can't stand the taste of my breath anymore. Unfortunately, Dad wakes up at 6 a.m. in the morning no matter what day it is, and he is not real considerate of the fact that I am trying to enjoy my Saturday. Today, after Dad woke me up, I just decided to skip the whole TV thing and go over to Rowley's. I know I haven't mentioned Rowley yet, and he is technically my best friend, but that's subject to change. Rowley kind of ticked me off on the first day of school with something he said at the end of the day when we were getting our stuff from our lockers.
Hey Greg, want to come over to my house and play?
How many times do I have to tell you that you're supposed to say hang out and not play? So I guess you could say I've been avoiding him this week. I've been trying to be more careful about my image ever since I got to middle school, but having Rowley around isn't helping. I met Rowley a few years ago when he moved into my neighborhood. His mom bought him this new book called How to Make Friends in New Places, and he came to my house trying all these dumb gimmicks.
Knock knock.
Huh?
Thermos.
Excuse me?
Thermos be some way to tickle your funny bone.
Say what? I guess I felt kind of sorry for Rowley, and I decided to take him under my wing. It's been great having him around, mostly because I get to use all the tricks Roderick pulls on me. Did you know if your hand is bigger than your face, it's a sign of low intelligence?
Really?
Ha! Gotcha.
But do I have low intelligence?
Let me check again. You know how I said I play all sorts of pranks on Rowley? Well, I have a little brother named Manny, and I could never get away with pulling any of that stuff on him. Mom and Dad protect Manny like he's some kind of prince or something, and he never gets in trouble, even if he deserves it. In fact, just the other day, he somehow got into my room and used a bunch of magic markers to decorate my door. Manny, what are you doing? I thought that Mom and Dad would really let him have it, but as usual, I was wrong.
Aw.
So now I'm stuck waking up to this horrible drawing staring at me every day. Mom won't let me paint over it or even cover it up with a poster because she says it might hurt Manny's feelings. The worst thing about Manny is that when he was real little, he couldn't pronounce brother. So he started calling me Bubby, and Mom and Dad didn't make him call me my real name even when he could say it. Luckily, none of my friends have found out yet, but I have had some really close calls.
Hey, this one says it's to Bubby.
Must be a mistake. Mom always makes me help Manny get ready for school in the morning. After I make Manny his breakfast, he carries his cereal bowl into the family room and sits on his little beanbag.
C is for cookie and cookie is for me.
When it's time for him to go to daycare, he gets up and dumps whatever he didn't eat right in his plastic potty. Mom is always getting on me about not finishing my breakfast, but if she had to scrape cornflakes out of the bottom of a plastic potty every morning, she wouldn't have much of an appetite either. So that pretty much summarizes my first week of school for the most part. Well, here's to hoping I can enjoy the rest of my weekend.
Bubby.
Oh, great.